I've been living in a Tab 400 for 2 years now, and I just wanted to make a video kind of reflecting on my experience so far, what I've liked about the Tab 400, what I might change about the Tab 400 with my experience living in it full time. Some background, I guess. I started officially living full time in my Tab on November 1st, 2020. So it's been 2 years since November 1st, which is a little crazy to think about. It's crazy that it's been 2 years. So it is a 2021 Tab 400. I ordered it and bought it new, just so I can make sure I got what I specifically wanted. So like the colors, the fabric, the fridge, that kind of thing. Some background on me is that I grew up camping, so this isn't necessarily a new experience for me. I grew up camping with my family in a pop-up camper, and then later on my parents bought a Tab 320, so tabs weren't necessarily new to me either. I was aware of them, and I was aware of the Tab 400. I toured one. I was at Tabazona when I first saw a Tab 400 back in January of 2020, and I was really impressed with it. And I can't remember when I officially decided I was going to start living full-time in an RV, but it was maybe mid 2020, and I kind of decided to do it to kind of so I didn't have to live in one place, for one thing, and so I can maybe save money. I think my motivations have changed a little bit over the years, but I think they're still kind of the same. I still get to travel and I still get to save money. Not at the same time usually, but let's start with the things that I love about the Tab 400, because there's lots of things, and generally you tend to dwell on the things you don't like. So I think it's important to also think about the things that you do like, that you have in your life. So for the Tab 400, I love the interior, the exterior. I love the overall look of it. It's such a distinct camper. It's very unique from a lot of the other RVs that are on the market right. And I'm not saying the other RVs are bad. They're just they are what they are. I'm not a huge fan of the graphics. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of things. They've gotten a lot better, I will give them that. But with the Tab 400, I liked the more European look. I liked the dinette, how it's like this kind of curved table. I like the rounded cabinets. I like the option of being able to do silver panels on the outside with white trim. I love that. That's one of the reasons I custom ordered mine, just to make sure I could get the colors I wanted. The size is also perfect for me. So something like the Tab 320 was a little small. For going on weekend trips, it would have been good for me, but for living in it full time, I needed something a little bit bigger with a little more storage and a separate bed. I also really like that it's not too big. It's kind of that perfect size between too small and too big. It's small enough where I can handle it pretty easily. I can tow it, I can park it all by myself, and I'm not overly intimidated by it like I would be when you start to get up with the bigger campers. I'm not saying you can't have a bigger camper and camp and live full-time in it by yourself, but it's not something that I would have been super comfortable with, so an 18-foot camper is the perfect size for me. And overall, I've really loved the quality so far, which is one of the reasons that I decided to buy a new camp RV. They are known for their quality, and they're also known to maintain their value a little bit better than other RVs. As far as things breaking go, it's not uncommon for things to break in RVs. You are taking your house on the road with you, so things will break. But it's all been pretty minor things. I think probably the biggest issue I had was with my AC. And I actually think it is with the blower motor. So it's not something huge, and it's also not something that has consistently happened to me. So I'm gonna get it looked at, and hopefully it's not a big deal. Overall, I haven't had any major issues, which I am very grateful for. Overall, I am really happy with the Tab 400 so far. It is a great little camper, and 2 years in it so far, still going strong. So as far as things I would want to change, like I mentioned earlier, you tend to dwell on things that you might not be as happy with over the years. And I've had 2 years to think about what I might have done differently with the Tab when I was ordering it, or things that I might like if I ever get a new camper. That's not the Tab 400. So the first thing that I might have changed was I think I should have gotten the bigger fridge. And it's mostly because since I moved into the Tab, my dog has moved over to a home-cooked diet, and so her chicken takes up a lot of room in my freezer and her food in my fridge and all of that. So I didn't anticipate that I would need more room in my fridge. I would have to share room in my fridge with my dog. But that's just something that I thought about since then. I'm like, oh, it might have been nice to get the bigger fridge so I could have more room for me and Mercy. Another thing I've thought about is I wish I could have an electric awning. And the biggest reason you can't have an electric awning with the 400 is because there's not really anywhere to put it. Since it is a teardrop shape, it is round on the top, so there's just no room for an electric awning. So there's other options, but you have to put them all up by yourself, and I hate putting up my awning. I hate it. And the last thing that I would do differently in the future, maybe if I ever get a new camper or RV, is I want a dry bath. Yeah, I don't think there's much to say about it. So the bathroom on the Tab in the shower area is actually a good size, which is the perks of having a bigger camper than like the 320, which has a very cramped bathroom. It's nice, but I don't like having a wet bath. If I was ever to get anything different, it would need a dry bath. And that's it. That's all the things I would change about the 400 or change if I ever got a new camper. Going into the future, I have no plans of stopping. I have plans for next year. I have some loose plans for the year after that, but I'm still going strong in my Tab 400. I have no plans of buying a new camper, and I have no plans of moving out of the Tab 400. Obviously, things can change. I cannot predict the future. Nothing is set in stone, but as of right now, I like living in an RV. It's not always easy, but life isn't always easy, and I've really loved traveling around and just getting to live my life. I am in my 20s, and now is the time to live my life, so I'm happy so far, and I'm happy with the Tab 400.